Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan on the Piney podcast. Sorry for the late Piney podcast. Just this day got away from me. Family functions and the big news, Joan, come up here. Joan got a haircut. So show everybody your haircut, Joan. See how nice? Nice and clean now. Freeze it. Alright. So Joan's all nice and set for the summer. She's got a blanket. She's nice and warm. So finally she's got a haircut. I wonder when Phil Murphy will let me get a haircut. Here now are some of the rules. The safeguards that barbers and hairstylists must follow. They include limiting services to appointment only. I'm pretty sure everybody has an appointment with barbers, but I guess that means that the barbers have no one in their store and someone walks in off the street, they have to say, no, get out. You have to make an appointment. Well, can't they just make an appointment there if you have no one? That doesn't... Stupid. Performing health screening, including temperature checks on clients and staff prior to entry to the facility. Well, that's stupid because that's already been proven to be completely pointless. The Chinese were taking everybody's temperature in communist China. They had the temperature gun. They were screening everybody at the airport. What good did that do? Absolutely nothing, because we've already determined that people can be sick and not have a temperature. That's an absolutely pointless thing. And barbers are not health professionals, okay? They cannot diagnose the beer virus any more than anybody else can with no symptoms, dummy. Requiring the use of personal protective equipment, requiring clients to wear face coverings at all times regardless of the service they are receiving, unless face down on a massage table, where doing so would inhibit an person's health. Well, first off, I have a beard, and when I go to the barber, I like to get the beard trimmed. So do a lot of people with beards. So it's kind of hard to wear a face mask and get your beard trimmed. Also, some barbers shave your face. So you certainly can't wear a face covering. And also, this contradicts what I read in another article a few days ago. So, once again, Murphy's instructions are confusing and stupid and pointless. Continuing, ensuring that all staff, ensuring that all staff-client pairs maintain at least a 6 feet distance between other staff-client pairs, unless separated by physical barriers. We already knew that one. You didn't have to tell us. Adopting enhanced cleaning and disinfection practices. No duh. Everyone's done that already. Staying informed about new developments and guidance related to the beer virus. I have, unlike you, Phil, unlike you and your idiot group of CEOs or whatever they are who are supposed to come up with this stuff. Is this the best you can do? This is the best you can do. Your CEO experts, this is what they came up with? Making the barbers take people's temperatures? That doesn't work. It simply doesn't work. That was disproven back in January when the Chinese government was doing it, and they said, oh, does that work? And they looked into it, and it doesn't, because you can have the beer virus and not have a temperature. You could have something else, and you don't have the beer virus. And this is just, I'm exhausted with all this. I'm just exhausted. I want this to be over. Everybody wants this to be over. People are now defying the governor's order, and it's just going to get worse and worse. And the hypocrisy unfortunately here hasn't been as bad as, say, New York. But they are following the lead of New York, and that's what worries me. Because in New York, Cuomo is threatening 25,000 different bars or incidents, I forget which, that got reported as if people reported that and it wasn't the cops or it wasn't their competition. So there's been all sorts of, I mean, really, you're going to give 25,000 citations out? You're going to go after 25,000 bars and restaurants that didn't do exactly what you said, Cuomo? This is the kind of stuff Phil's doing. It's vindictive. It's pointless. It doesn't help anybody. And we are heading in to a rough time economically in the next year or two. I get the impression our government doesn't care. And in fact, would love to enhance this. Would love to make this even more arduous for all of us. Because, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, the Democratic Party doesn't like Trump. And since he ran on an economic prosperity, which he was able to deliver on, their only recourse is to stomp on the economy until Trump is out of office. Do you realize how insane that is? What other explanation is there? Phil is not listening to the science. Taking people's temperature does not work at all. The Chinese determined it, and then we determined it. So why is he making barbers take people's temperature? It does nothing. You can get sick people. All it does is eliminate a group of people who may or may not have this virus. And there are people who run a temperature all the time. They, as they say, run hot. Some people run hot. They're usually young people. Young people sometimes run a couple of degrees hot than normal. Most people are at 98.6. Some people are at 99.6. What is a barber supposed to do with that? What is the customer supposed to do with that information? The barber goes, oh, you're at 99.6, man. And the customer's like, well, yeah, I always run that hot. Oh, well, this says you have a temperature. I can't cut your hair. I mean, seriously? You could have just said, let people cut their hair outside. They could have been cutting hair outside the moment it hit 75 degrees. And people would be fine. You've given us a bunch of nonsense that these barbers already figured out months ago. Everyone figured this out months ago. They're going to wipe down. They're going to stay distant. They're going to wear face masks inside. What else are you going to tell them, Phil? What else are you going to tell them? Are you waiting for a magical disinfectant mist for them to invent it and say, oh, now you're required to hold this? How much longer can you drag this out? People in red states have already lifted everything. They're going back to restaurants. They're going back to their lives. You insist on doing this. You're hurting the economy. There's a diner next to me that's still closed. It's massive. It has a bar. It has a gazillion tables in it. They can only do takeout. They're getting killed. Are you not? I mean, it'd be different if you'd offset the costs with, say, give them a 2-month, 5-month free property taxes, but you're not doing that. You can't spend New Jersey's money fast enough because you're a Democrat, and that's what you do. You spend other people's money, and then when that's gone, you think of other ways to spend more money, and when it goes into the negative, you say, oh, don't worry, I'll just ask the president for more money. He has to give it to me, or he'll look bad. You're not getting the money, Phil. I'll tell you right now, New Jersey's not getting the money. All you're doing is squeezing us, because Trump understands that dynamic. The mayor of Minneapolis just asked for $50 million to fix his city. Do you think he's getting it? Do you think he's getting it without doing exactly what Trump wants, including not defunding the police, including keeping the National Guard there until the place is back to normal, until the city president of the city council is gone? He's probably not getting the $50 million. He's probably not able to do any of that stuff. So, you keep at it, Phil. You keep at it. You could be known as Tyrant Phil, who destroyed New Jersey and messed this whole thing up.